Nope.
What did you just say?
Whatever it happens will happen.
So yeah, thanks Ricardo for arranging this time for a little chat about Studio Tainan. Yeah, it's a funny conversation because there's so many people in the Studio Tainan line, but no one is keen to have like definitions. It's kind of a lovely thing, so we keep doing it. And so I love to check in with people and just hear what's Studio Tainan for you, right? Why are you in this group and doing things with other people? So yeah, can I ask you a few questions?
Sure. But
Sure.
the sound is kind of failing, the mic.
It's noisy where I am. Let's see if I can close the window.
Okay.
We'll see if it's clear enough to share with others. If it's not, we'll just do it again. So when's the first time you heard about Studio Tainan?
It was through my friend Joshua. I met Joshua a couple of years ago. And then in one of the conversations, he mentioned that he met people from Tainan who has this group, and they exchange kind of information about interesting subjects, or they do also small projects and they share with each other. And I was like, wow, I like this kind of community because yes, it's a kind of space where I can express my interest also, and I can find people mine like.
Yeah, so you heard from Josh like how long ago?
It was more than a year ago. And I remember he invited me. But at the moment, I think I was in another kind of a state of mind, and I was not really planning to go to Tainan quite often. So I was like, I started like witnessing what was going on, and at one point I said, oh, I don't have patience now for these conversations, and I just quit. And then, but which is also amazing because it's like then talking with you, you mentioned the role of the 2 feet. That's like when you don't have anything to say or to contribute with, you better live. So I did. But later on, I got another invitation from Joshua to join an event that was organized by one of the members of Studio Tainan, Dao.
Yeah.
And he was organizing like a weekend of yoga and something like that. And so it was the opportunity to come back to go back to Tainan and connect with that particularly event. But at the end, it's funny how life works, because at the end we didn't really participate on that for different reasons. But we finished visiting Yuba, and in Yuba I met Chao Chin, and we were amazed by what was happening there with the kombucha and the bread and some things, and we were like, wow, we connect with her very well. And then it happened again that I wanted to meet you, Jane, and I don't know why exactly, what was the trigger, but then we finally met in my second trip to Tainan to Yuba, because I wanted to stay in Yuba and support Yuba, but then everything changed in Yuba. But at the end, I met you, and it was like very, very interesting. And I started working with you. Like immediately, felt like I wanted to work with you, and that kind of deepened my interest in Studio Tainan, because I saw it from a different perspective, I guess. Thanks to Chao Jin, and then thanks to you, and yeah. And I met such a wonderful people after that. It was amazing. Yeah.
You saw it from a different perspective. Can you say a little bit about that perspective?
Yes, in the beginning, as I told you before, I was like not very open to being in a group like that before. I was like more thinking about my issues here in the farm in Taidong, and for me, Studio Tainan was kind of far away. And the people were in another coast, and I was not like, bah, like I was thinking this community is good if you live around Tainan, otherwise, but for they're quite far, and yeah. But then it's like when I talk to you and I start meeting members from other cities, I realize, wow, this is really open for everyone in Taiwan, or even out of Taiwan. So it's like it is not really. I mean, the limitation is in my mind. Now with the all the tools we have, like the one we're using now, for example, it's like, and I think also because of the pandemic, this kind of tools were more developed. So we started getting used more to use this kind of things. So I did I did find more interesting now to connect with the Studio Tainan. So and it has been very very interesting because I've been meeting people from different parts of Taiwan that belongs to Studio Tainan. And yeah, so also my interests are more not clear, but are like more aligned with some of the people in Studio Tainan than before.
No.
Like yeah, before I think I had them, but as I told you, I thought it was not really. I didn't really look for the connection. Now it's like, yeah, the connection is there, and I see it's not that hard, and yeah, let's do it. And yeah.
So if someone asks you what is Studio Tainan, what do you say?
I have two definitions that came to my mind the other day. You made the question to me. One is the ego slaughterhouse, right? Because I think that uh, many of us in this group are very aware of how ego affects the development of movements of communities or group like this, and we consciously work with that. Some of us, even if it's not official to work with that, it's like it's very present. It's very present in many of the members to be very clear about the ego patterns and how it does affect our intentions and our way to work and our agendas or no agendas. So yeah, and I appreciate that a lot for me because it's like being, for example, with you, or with Dini, it's like it's very clear that you will show me, hey, somehow you're working from where, from your center or from your ego, or so I can feel that, and I really appreciate that. And the other is, I call it the nursery. Like I have this simile with the plant nursery because I think it's like a very, you have here the greenhouse, the tools, and the soil just to plant your seeds and start yeah, doing beautiful stuff there. So, and of course the team of people that is there also in the nursery, it will help you a lot. Yeah. And it can be something very specific, like the other day I need a computer, right? And someone was helping me with that. And it can be also like something more complex, like a project, right? So yeah, I think it's a nursery. Very, very interesting because the two things are not kind of related.
It's not usually thought of together.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yes.
That's sweet.
Hmm.
I think Studio Tainan is full of lots of contradictions like that, now that you mention it. You
Mm.
know, life is full of contradictions. So Studio Tainan is not trying to make everything clean by one story.
Yes, yes. Yeah, it can look messy in a way. It's like, oh, so many things happening and so many ideas floating around, and people talking so different, some many different subjects,
And
but
languages.
it's like, yeah, but it's okay. At the end, it's okay. It's like that's life. Life is like that, bringing you a lot of surprises, and it's like being aware of that with
Uh,
people of Studio Tainan.
yeah. So I'm just thinking
Mm.
when people are meeting you on this video for the first time, I bet they're curious about your farm. Could you talk about it for a couple minutes? You know, you may not have it for much longer, but tell us about your farm. What is it?
Well, with my wife, we wanted to create a permaculture space, but like permaculture is this kind of design system that allows allows you allows us to create an environment that we can use very efficient all the elements in that environment. Um, so efficiency in terms of not wasting, not generating too much rubbish, um, not being too materialistic, creating communities like local communities and local economies and those things that um, for me was like a beautiful how do you say that, like when I found permaculture, I was like, wow, this is a very positive answer, like very wholesome answer. It's not only complaining, oh, this world is terrible, the multinational corporations are terrible or they're evil, and it's like, okay, I was generating a lot of bad vibes in myself, like very, I was going very kind of pessimistic, but I think this is a very, okay, this is a response. How do I respond? Is with, okay, I have this, I have a farm, I can regenerate the soil, I can give shelter to many wildlife, I can grow my own food and do it, in a very clean way. And yeah, so I said, okay, this is a good way to do it. And my wife was very much in the same page. So that's why we got the farm. We started doing our own stuff. And now it's like after 5 years of having the farm, now it's like a food forest system. Like
Wow.
it's not as I was imagining, but this is nature. Nature always is not, it's not what you want. Like
Nature
you have
always
to adapt.
wins.
Yeah. So it's like you have to work with it, fight with it, or work with it. That's kind of thing. So, and you have to accept many things that you are not, in the beginning you don't want it, but it's like, okay, but what, that's why nature wanted. So I have many challenges I was not expecting, and a lot of maintenance to do and things like, I was not prepared for that. But it's also a practice of acceptance and a practice of, okay, this is what it is, and let's work with whatever we have here, like life again.
Like life. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like Studio Tainan.
Yeah, like Studio Tainan. It's not all clean and shiny, but it's real and it's full of energy. Lovely.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to tell people about yourself or your farm or anything?
Yes. So finally, with my wife, we took different paths for a couple of years ago. So I'm kind of in charge of the farm now by myself, and I started receiving volunteers from different, or work away and helpex, and or visitors from couch surfing, and some people come here and stay with me. Either they work in the farm, they help me, they learn, or they just want to chill out, rest, and everything is fine for me. Everything's like, I mean, whatever you want to give in return is your call. I'm not asking for anything. Um, which is also a challenge because yeah, sometimes you don't you are too used to limits in a
Yeah.
way that I feel like invaded or limits are overpassed, but it's also a learning process for me.
Mm.
So I'm cool with that too, even if it's challenging sometimes.
Not comfortable,
Yeah,
but lots of learning.
yeah, lots of learning. Um, and it's very clear that whoever comes here because has something to give, even if it's not that um, transparent in the beginning, but always people have something to bring to the farm.
Mm.
Hmm. And sometimes the teachings are very pleasant, sometimes they're not. But it's not about that. It's
Not
about
about that. Yeah.
learning. Yeah. Mm.
Beautiful. Yeah, I so appreciate this time to just listen to you talk about Studio Tainan and about your farm. I mean, it's biodynamic permaculture, food forest is there aren't that many of them, I don't think, in Taiwan. So it's just lovely hearing your stories. I've heard a lot of stories about people coming and going and what happens there. And I'm so glad you're doing it. And I'm so glad you're connected here with Studio Tainan.
Yeah, in fact, one of the members of Studio Tainan, HC, Chao Ching, she moved to live here. Um, I don't know until when, it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Now I'm
yeah.
reminded, I think we were all on a Zoom call together like last March about the possibility of creating our own, I forget what we called it. Oh, freelancers against precarity. Looking at the possibility of linking up so as to have more stable economy, or like an internal economy. And I remember on that phone call, Xiaojing was there, you were there, also one of the people from Taichung who came and visited you within a month or something to work on your
Yes, that's
farm.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So
Mm,
with that, I think I will end this video for here, and I hope there'll be more videos in the future wherever you are, whatever you're doing.
mm, yes.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Talk later.
Okay.
Okay. Oops. Here, Jane doesn't know how to hit the recording off button. Here we go.